Now that we've spent the last month enjoying the life of a showgirl, we decided to finally sit down and dissect the album by trying to relate Taylor's latest 12 songs to her previous studio albums. We also want to celebrate the upcoming Eras Tour documentary, which we're both very excited about. Welcome to Swiftly Spoken, a fan-made Taylor Swift podcast in which we break down her lyrics, deep dive into full album retrospectives, and theorize about what may be coming next. As always, we are your hosts, Lisa and Cameron, and this week we're going to be trying to relate every showgirl track to each one of Taylor's 12 studio albums. So as always, we have done this before. We've done it with like different songs on different albums and how we think that some of Taylor's songs could have been placed on other albums, be it like from eras that are close together or eras that are very, very far apart. However, we've made this a little bit even more difficult for ourselves because not only do we want to classify the 12 songs, the 12 new songs that we have into any random Taylor album, what we really want to do is one song for each album, which is a difficult thing, more difficult than I expected.
Yes,
yes,
right? No, definitely. I think because when we've done it previously, we've just say like
no rules,
Torture Poets or something. We've just slammed it on any, like we just go through each track and basically just slam it on the album that sounds most similar. It doesn't necessarily have to be one for debut all the way through to TTPD or whatever. So it's really weird having to then because some of them there's a lot that would sound good on one album, and then I'm like, okay, where's Folklore and Evermore coming into this? You know what I mean? Like it's so much easier, isn't it, to put like pop songs onto a pop album,
definitely,
and vice versa. So it's weird. It was difficult, this one. I really did struggle, and I was really having some of them make sense and some are quite good placements, but I do feel like some I'm really like clutching at straws. You know what I mean? Like I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel of an idea,
like, okay,
you know what
this more or less fits, I think. Yeah, I guess we wanted to make it more difficult for ourselves, as we always do, so it's a bit more of a challenge. However, I think we can also just discuss in general if we're not happy with a placement, like where we would rather this song be if we could repeat. As always, we very much would love it if you guys could also participate and tell us if it's too hard to like try and fit one on each of the albums. You can just say like which songs you would think could go on other albums in general. But no, it was challenging to say the least. And like you say, some of them I'm very happy with and others I'm like, oof. But still, I think when we discuss and put it together, we'll be able to more or less classify each somehow, some way, relating them either through like the themes, the lyrics, the sound, or other random things, basically.
Hopefully.
Okay, so I guess we just run through the tracks on the album from the first one, The Fate of Ophelia.
Yeah, so how I before we get into it, just I thought I'd say how I went through it was I basically just went. I just started with albums,
right?
And because I was just like, if I go chronologically through the songs, I was like, I don't know where. Whereas I was like, if I write out all the albums and then I slam the ones that I know, and then work my way through. That's how I kind of did it. Is that how you kind of process, or did you go chronologically through the album or chronologically through her discography? Right.
I wrote out the 12 tracks and I kind of placed the ones that I was very, very sure of from the beginning where I wanted them to be. And then I did go through like, okay, so which one of these do I think is most debut, then most fearless? But I did also struggle because some of them really just don't fit, so I had to like move it around a bit. Definitely some of them from the beginning I was like, I don't even have to write this down, I know that this goes here. Yeah. Okay. But yes, so The Fate of Ophelia, I found this one, if I classify my choices between like obvious choice and very, very difficult, don't know where to place this, I would say The Fate of Ophelia was somewhere in the middle for me. Like I had a brief, like an idea, but not like, I don't love it, but I don't hate it either.
Mm-hmm.
What have you got?
I'm the same, so I'm really intrigued if we're going to be the same. I put it on Torture Poets.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, you'll find out why, but I've put it on Folklore.
Okay, explain your reason.
Yeah, so my reasoning it was difficult because there's another one further down, as we know, that also I think could fit onto Folklore, but I ultimately went for The Fate of Ophelia just because, I don't know, it's very like storyteller, it's the only one that I can see as like more of this lyrical, more like lyrically in depth as to the story of this person and relating it back to your life. and also
Yes,
at the
that's what I
same
was gonna say,
time giving those like brief like glimpses of like modern day terminology and stuff, which reminded me of the lakes. And I don't know, that's why I went for the Fate of Ophelia. I don't know, I also feel like it's very folkloric in the forest. You know, we're talking about obviously that the not photo shoot, but in the music video, that first
the start of
recreation of a tableau vivant, right, where she's a painting and the rest of it. I don't know, it kind of, the aesthetic
dress
of it
is very folklore-y,
exactly, that's true. Not sound wise, however, those new like instrumentally kind of versions, maybe they fit a little bit more into the sound.
Yeah, definitely. I could see that. Yeah, the Alone in My Tower, whatever version.
Right.
Definitely working. No, that makes sense. That's interesting. I didn't think about that. The reason that
TTPD,
I put it on Torture Poets was I felt like it was very so high school, and I feel like if the production was like, I feel like obviously any of them you could shove on there and say that the story she's telling is some of the story she's telling on TTPD. Yeah, so that isn't the best link, but that was one of the things I was like, realistically, she could have said this in Torture Poets and it would have fit with the kind of the rest of what's being discussed on that album. So that was one of the reasons. Also, just like I said, it does feel that kind of like, it's the initial, like, you've saved me, like, it's that initial feeling, isn't it? If you've saved me from the Fate of Ophelia, I was alone in my tower. It's kind of, it feels very like the start of the kind of relationship. So that's why I shoved it there. And also, it is a little bit poetic, isn't it? Using the narrative of Ophelia as a metaphor. So it was kind of tentative. The production, similarly with you in Folklore, would be very different. I think it would just be toned down a little bit. I think the chorus and stuff would be toned down a bit more. But I think it could work. And I think that if it was definitely reworked more like the Alone in My Tower version, that would definitely fit on Folklore.
Yeah, I think my only problem with TTPD, and that's why I found it so hard, which we'll speak about more in just a minute, but I just found it difficult to find a song that was like depressive enough. Like sad enough.
This would definitely be anthology. This would be anthology
exactly.
TTPD,
I can see that. Yeah. Okay, interesting. So next up we have Elizabeth Taylor, and you see now is where it's interesting because I did put TTPD for this one.
Okay, that's interesting. Explain.
Yeah. So my reasoning again is I'm trying to look through this very happy, hopeful, poppy album, and I'm thinking which one is the saddest one, and I guess Elizabeth Taylor, you know, if you look at it and you sit down with it, there are a lot of lines that are kind of depressing and sad in that one. Like, you know, it's not glamorous to be me, and if you leave me, I'll cry my eyes violet. And
cry my eyes violet.
So I was thinking like main TTPD, like not including like the anthology, which really opens it up so much more. This one for me is the one that could probably fit. I know it's a little bit maybe perhaps too metaphorical for the main album, because where we do lean more into like stories and like things like Cassandra and things like that is in the anthology. I don't know, somewhere in between perhaps, but I don't know.
I think it could work. I think it is a little bit I Can Fix Him, a little bit Clara Bow.
Yeah,
in terms of like using a character.
True,
so there's still
that
elements.
is true.
I think that could work. There's still elements. I broke the rules a little bit because there is an album where I put 2 on. Yeah, okay. There's an album where I put 2 on, and there's an album I didn't put anything on.
Okay.
As ever, I broke the rules. So this one I put on because I put it on Reputation. Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
And that's obviously because
the reference
in terms of like production, the reference to Elizabeth Taylor that she referenced on Ready for It, this could definitely be on the Reputation vault, and she could have definitely slammed that on the Reputation vault and no one would have questioned it and been like, oh, that was written at the same time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems very of the Reputation era, so that's why I shoved it on there, because of Sonic and just the reference to Elizabeth Taylor that she first made reference to then.
And the story it tells.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But I do think TTPD would be a good choice if I followed the rules. I would probably move Elizabeth Taylor off of Reputation because there's another one that makes more sense that I'm sure you've probably shoved on there as well.
Okay.
But yeah, so that definitely makes sense, but I unfortunately was a rule breaker. But again, because there was one album I just couldn't find anything for. I really couldn't find anything.
Right.
So I'm intrigued by what you put on the album that I struggled with.
I think we may agree. We'll see how it goes. But no, I think like the interesting thing is to see also how we kind of like see albums in the same like little group or subgroup of albums. So obviously there is a relation between TTBD and Reputation and this album in a way. I feel an overlap. I understand why that would happen. So no, I really get that, because of like the darker themes, the production of them being like more of a like, again, a darker pop, and those references to Fame. I get that. Moving on, we've got Opalite. I was pretty happy with my choice for this one. I went for 1989.
I feel like same, exactly the same.
Oh, perfect, amazing.
Yeah, it's the most pure pop. I did think that it could potentially be on Lover. But
I agree.
When I put it on Lover, trying to find something that fit on 1989, the ones I was like, 1989 Taylor just would not say
those things, right? Opalite is probably the most,
she just wouldn't say that,
curated in the sense of like, it's very Shake It Off. It is very Shake It Off.
Yes. Yeah, Dancing Through the Lightning Strikes is the most like Shake It Off.
It is.
Kind of lyric ever. So yeah, it's very How You Get the Girl in its kind of sonic sound. So I think again, you could put Opalite, make the production slightly more 80s, and it would fit pretty well.
Throw a synth in there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Get Jack Antonoff to produce it.
Perhaps.
And it would be fine.
Yeah, change a couple of words here and there and we're set. Yeah. We're good to go. So that's interesting. There you go. Our first one that was quite easy.
I feel like that one.
Yeah.
That was one of the first ones where I was just like, yeah, makes sense. Slam on there. I didn't really think about it too much. Like I said, initially I thought, maybe Lover, because it is, not that it is, but it kind of leans into like the Me, Cruel Summer. Like it's like a Cruel Summer and a Me together at the same time.
It's not like bubblegum pop, but it's not bubblegum pop in the sense that, it's like a very happy poppy song, right? It's not bubblegum pop, but you get what I mean. The sentiment.
Yeah. But then, 1989, definitely, I think it fits. But that's interesting, that we've both... What's interesting so far is we've weirdly had the same reasoning for stuff, but have put it on different albums. Yeah. So we were both a bit unsure about Fate of Ophelia, and we put it because of lyrics and not production.
Exactly, that's interesting.
Similar with, like, Elizabeth Taylor. It's interesting how we've put them on stuff for similar reasons, but not the same one, whereas this one, we aligned.
Great. Next up, we have Father Figure. Oh, maybe a bit of my bias is showing here because
okay I
put it on Evermore.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so difficult because again, I don't want to repeat, and I was thinking she's leaning into a character. I get that she's done characters from 1989 onwards, so I can't put on anything before. But 1989 is taken, and anywhere I can't really see it. It's a bit too advanced. No. Reputation is taken,
and 2014 Taylor would have never said some of those words.
That's what I mean.
No, she was not in a position to start doing that.
Reputation is taken, and I don't think she was there yet. Lover, this is not Lover. I have another one for Lover that I'm happy with. So then Folklore was used. So what did I have to choose from, really? So Evermore, like, again, character driven, a bit more experimental than the previous one that I related to Folklore. Like very dark, kind of like Nobody No Crime kind of thing. Again, we're going to switch up the production a little bit. Twist at the end.
Yeah.
Deals with endings in a way.
Yes. Because, Yes. Yeah, no. And I think things like It's Time to Go.
Relates.
Definitely kind of relate. And if you were to put it on Folklore, it's more kind of like the Mad Woman.
Yeah. It could relate to either.
Stuff. So yeah, I think that definitely works. Interestingly, Evermore was the album I couldn't put anything on.
Oh my god, my baby!
That was the album that I was going to say. There's an album that I couldn't put anything on, and there's a song I couldn't put on anything.
Me too.
Because what I was left with the song that just did not go on Evermore, and it was never ever going to fit.
Right.
So weirdly, Evermore was the one I really really struggled with.
Okay.
Trying to find something to squeeze onto it, because Father Figure weirdly was one of the ones that I was like, oh yeah, this album 100%, and I shoved it on Midnights.
Wow.
I feel like potentially you could just slap that onto the 3am edition.
Yeah. Bit more hectic.
And it wouldn't need potentially a lot of changing. I feel like the production, and it's not similar, but like it's a bit more darker, like Maroon, a bit like Question. I feel like Father Figure could work, and again, she's separated enough from the situation with the kind of masters and Leaving Big Machine. Yeah. Midnight's Taylor could have thought of this kind of concept and it not be like
too out there.
I feel like too out there. Yeah, like Lover Taylor, Reputation Taylor. No, they weren't thinking of that, and they were still very much
this is it.
in it. So yeah, I shoved it on Midnights because I felt like production wise and lyrically, potentially it could have been something that she was aware of.
I get that. I do get that. And that's actually very revealing on how we're going to differ as we go down the line, because now I'm interested. I think I know where you're going in your head, but it's going to be a bit chaotic, I think. But I get that. I really honestly understand it, especially production wise and the sound. My only reservation for that would be like Midnights is quite straightforward. Like there's not much like she's not leaning into many characters because it's quite a revealing and personal reflective album. But I could see it in like a 3 a.m. kind of
I could definitely see it. Yeah, I was going to say a more of a 3 a.m. moment.
Same
and I do think it's definitely something that would have kept her up at night.
No, definitely,
but the
true.
the character element, definitely not. I think I was definitely more thinking kind of production wise, you could probably it wouldn't seem out of place.
It's interesting though, we're in the same place as far as like almost at the same point of her discography, because between Evermore and Midnights, obviously, it's the 9th and the 10th album, so we're at the end more than at the beginning, of course. Okay, interesting. That leads us to our track 5, the very controversial track 5.
The very controversial track 5. What is, because I think both of our opinions towards it when we upon our first listen and on our last episode and our first kind of chat was that we didn't necessarily understand all of the hate. I can see some of people's perspective, but I think it's potentially not understanding the song.
I think it's just like overblown and people wanting to have a little complaint.
Yeah,
I get it.
And I think especially after Taylor explained it, I think that it makes the song's made, and that bridge, I think it's my favourite bridge on the album.
I love it. I really do love the bridge, and I'm getting like, I don't know, I'm getting used to it, and I feel it's a very emotional song. It's one of the there's about 3 songs on this album that make me emotional due to like specific lyrics, and that the end of that bridge, that every youngest child bit, it gets me every time.
Oh yeah.
So honestly, I can't lie, it's a good placement.
Yeah, no, I personally have definitely grown a lot more. Like I didn't have any real issues with it. I was initially a bit like, I'm not sure about it. It's a track 5, I don't know, but I think that I've definitely really grown with it and grown to love it. And Eldest Daughter was one of the ones that I found easier to place, and interestingly, the same reasons really that you put Fate of Ophelia on Folklore, I put Eldest Daughter on Folklore. And I think that was mainly because of the bridge and, like you said, the lyric to the link to like the lakes with like no one there to tweet it, and the kind of relationship between the internet and real life and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's why I put it on there. It's not like it's not the kind of like character folklore. It's more like the mirrorball-y, self-reflective, the lakes kind of
which
side
is
of folklore. I think.
It's a very big part of folklore. Yeah, no, I get that. I wasn't sure about this one and where it's landed. I'm not sure if I'm happy with it, but
really?
I put it on Red.
Interesting. Which I feel like there's one that makes so much sense for Red.
Oh, really? Okay. That's interesting for me. I think I might... No, I don't know. I think I kind of made it more difficult for myself because there was like 3 or 4 that I was like, I need this here, and I wasn't moving, I wasn't budging, so I was like, why would you do this to yourself? But anyway, I put it on Red. I know that obviously lyric wise there are things that don't work like realistically due to words not being used back then, and you know, they're part of like the cultural zeitgeist of nowadays, but still, forgetting that, I think it's just very raw, very emotional, and very, I don't know, it reminds me a little bit of things like Nothing New, of things like The Lucky One, thinking like, you know, so much pressure has been put on me for this, that, and the other. This is also has a more of a romantic perspective. And, you know, Red, as we always discuss, is a patchwork quilt of different things. And one side of it is that little bit of hope of something new, something different, something positive between all of this negative and chaotic love and romance that she's going through. So I don't know. I kind of related it to that. But I think like, and also production wise, I like more of like a toned down folklore TTPD kind of moment as well. So I see where you're going, but that's where it landed for me.
I think I was slightly surprised, but I think your explanation does make sense. I was just so shocked because what I picked for Red,
you're happy with.
I was like, I just thought that would be what everyone would pick. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's so interesting. Oh, I can't wait to see what you've got for Red. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so next up we have one of our favourites, Ruin the Friendship. Oh, what a good song. Yes. So I'm going to try and guess where you've put it. And I'll tell you where I've put it. And it's going to be for similar reasons, to be honest with you. And I can understand why you've put it there. Have you put it in Speak Now?
No.
Oh, okay. I will be quiet then.
I put it in Red.
You did? Oh, wait.
Yes,
it makes sense.
Forever Winter.
It makes sense. Forever Winter.
It's
I
not.
get that.
It's not OG Red and it's not Deluxe Red. It is Taylor's version Red. Oh, it would never have made OG Red. But
wow, the layers. Wait a second.
But definitely, it's, you know what I mean. It's Forever Winter's like sister, like
it is.
friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, it makes sense.
So and I think even the production, to be fair, isn't a million miles away from Red. Like, it wouldn't seem overly out of place.
Right, like, this is the most, like, I'm saying this between lots of air quotes, country.
Yeah. Yes, I was going to say, yes, the most country, but I think only because it's kind of referencing Nashville and stuff.
Right, yeah.
And the stripped down version is a little bit more kind of acoustic-y country, even though it's not, but you know what I mean. So I put it on Red. That was Ruin the Friendship, and there was a couple of others that I was
so
like,
interesting.
Definitely. Yeah. What about you? So I'm guessing you put it on Speak Now.
No, I didn't. I was thinking maybe you did, and when we differed, because I was thinking maybe Speak Now, because I think we've discussed this like privately before. It is a song that is very like, I am being, you know, I'm saying you should be brave and speak
saying
now.
It in the moment,
right? Yeah. However, I put it on Midnights. Because I just feel like it's one of those things that she's looking back on, one of those pivotal moments in her life, and she's like, "Oh, should have done this." It's like Question. It reminds me a lot of that.
That is yes, and that is something that would keep you up at in the middle of the night. It would pop back in your brain.
That's what I mean. It's so Midnight's coded that's for me. It was one of the ones that I was like, "Got to put it here," and it kind of like it kind of made it difficult.
Yeah, it's very, very Question, very Midnight Rainy.
Yeah, Midnight Rain.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's a good pick. I really like. I really, not to be like, I really like my pick.
No, that's
I really
absolutely
like my
fine.
pick,
Obviously,
it makes sense. But I really love your explanation.
But again,
and
like,
I think it definitely fits Midnight's.
For me,
definitely.
What is being revealed here, what is interesting about what is being revealed here is like the relations between, like I said, these groups of albums. There you go. We've already like made a group that is more like the Folklore, the TTPD, the Evermore kind of ones, which we've like, and even Reputation, which we've kind of like mixed and matched between us. And now we have another group. Then we had like the 1989s, and I'm sure the Lovers of the world. And then we have another group here, which is like the Midnights and the Red, the more like reflective, songwritery, devastational moments. So it makes sense. Like, you know, I get it. Oh gosh, and that leads to actually romantic. Which, I don't know. I'm 50-50 with what I've put here.
Really? Okay. I again, this was one of the ones where I was like,
oh, you were locked in.
She wouldn't have said it this way.
I think I know where you're going to go. Okay, cool. Yeah. She wouldn't have said it that way. Right. So what did you go for?
Speak Now.
Me too.
Yeah. It's better than Revenge, isn't it? It's better than Revenge's older sister. But
there you go.
She wouldn't have worded it in that way.
That's it.
The kind of teenage angst and revenginess is definitely
This is it.
Within Speak Now.
That I'm coming for you. I'm going like mean, like
you know, Drama Queen, you know, the unreleased track. It's very like
right.
That.
It is a little bit petty, a little bit. Listen, I'm gonna say it how it is, and I'm gonna say what I think, and I was hurt by this, and here you go. Here is. But actually, you know what? Yeah. It's kind of sweet, and honestly, isn't mean a little bit like that anyway? You know,
yes,
it's like you're so obsessed with me, and
I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah, mean, 100%.
Yeah,
definitely.
Again, like
all you are is mean and a liar and pathetic.
Exactly.
And alone in life.
And honestly, like you said, I don't think she would have worded it in the same way, but I do agree. Well, that's good. But that's our second one that we've put on the same album. Yeah, so that's interesting. Okay, and now it gets into some of the bit messy ones for me.
Oh God, yeah, no. This second half is where I really struggled and was just kind of willy nilly, like, oh, you're gonna go there,
you're gonna go here, you're gonna go there. Yeah. Well, let's face it. Right now, I think we've both got like debut, Fearless, Reputation, Lover, and obviously The Life of a Showgirl. And that's about it, right?
Yeah.
So those choices and the songs we have left, yes, it's a bit of a difficult one. But let's try and do what we can. So next up is Wishlist.
I didn't struggle as much with this.
Okay. I put this on Fearless.
Like I did, but I didn't. Fearless? Okay. Explain.
I don't know.
Because I put another one on Fearless that I think might work better.
Oh, I think it's because I had my Lover one locked in and I shouldn't have. But anyway, I will explain. I have put it on Fearless because I'm thinking it's very whimsy, it's very romantic, it's very like, you know, everyone has their dreams, and Fearless is very like, this is my dream, kind of like imagined what she would like idealistically in like this fairy tale romance. And Wishlist is basically her more or less saying, it's more realistic now, but this is all I want. And it's still, that's what she wants, this dream realistic, maybe not so fantasy fairy tale, but still this romance, right? She's a romantic at heart, and isn't Fearless such a romantic album in the end? Again, worded very differently, production much more country.
Yes.
There's like glimpses where I can defend this, but it's not my favourite choice. It's one of my least favourite, to be quite frank, but I just didn't know what to do with Fearless, to be honest.
Fearless choice, I was a bit,
Exactly, it's so hard. It's one of the most difficult ones here.
I put Wishlist on Lover for similar reasons.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of, you know, romantic. And I think that Lover Taylor probably could have written something a bit like this. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, again, potentially slightly different production. I think Lover Taylor would have potentially gone down more the route of, like, it's nice to have a friend kind of vibe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
It's
get
that
that
kind of vibe. Like, a little bit more like... So I think it would have been slightly different and angled in a different way, but I put it on there for a similar reason that you kind of did with Fearless, like, oh, it's a bit romantic-y.
Yeah, I get it.
It's just it's kind of, it doesn't really say it's not good, it's not bad, it doesn't stand out. It's, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, oh, yeah.
It isn't hate, it isn't love, it's just indifference.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah,
exactly.
No, I get that 100%. And honestly, if we had allowed ourselves to repeat albums, I'm sure the Wishlist I would have put it onto Lover. Honestly, 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see exactly what you mean.
I love how you say if we had allowed. I did. I allowed myself.
right.
I was just like, I'm breaking the rules.
That's true. It's fine. Next up now. There you go. I wasn't able to stick to the instructions 100% because I haven't put this anywhere. What are we going to do with Wood? If anything,
don't. It's just sat at the bottom of my list.
Does that mean that this is
with Evermore.
the Life of a Showgirl song? Does this mean this is?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Do we just leave it here? Is this like the? But then I sit and I think, is this like the maximum representation of what this album is? And I'm like, not really, but that's not really what we're supposed to do. Anyway, so it's a difficult one. It's a tough one.
Yeah, no, I was left
with Evermore.
Because obviously where I put two on Reputation, I was then left with Evermore.
Well,
so I was just like
Redwood Tree.
You like
right?
Yeah.
Honestly,
I suppose
we can shove it in there. What terrible wording.
I just think there's no kind of previous album that Taylor would have kind of felt comfortable enough to start saying those things.
No.
So I think unfortunately this one's a bit of an enigma and a bit.
Well, this is it. You had Evermore over. I had Debut over. I can't put this in Debut. Yeah. Can't put this in Debut.
No,
if anything, maybe we could put it on Speak Now, in her wildest moments.
Even then, what? Because you're thinking like, cross it, I can see you.
Yeah, I can see you, sparks fly. Like in her wildest vault moments, toned down.
Even then, those are so tame, aren't they?
Well, this is it. So, Wood is. I guess we would have to shove it into the Life of a Showgirl.
Because I feel like the closest I feel like that she's kind of got to that is something like Dress.
Right. Reputation
so
again. But I do think it's a bit too like. pretty,
but even then it's not
reputation, you know?
Yeah, like the Reputation songs that are a bit like this are more kind of like sexy, aren't they? They're a bit more like,
and Wood is playful and funny and flirty,
exactly, and it's very outwardly like aware of itself, whereas like the Reputation songs are a bit like that. They're a bit more darker and they're a bit more like in candlelight and hidden, and behind closed doors, secret. Whereas this is like, I don't care, I'm going to be jumping around talking about it. You know what I mean?
That's true. It's a tough one. I guess maybe we'll see what happens with the last 3 tracks. But no, it's interesting to see, and I'd like to see if you guys also kind of like make the rule, the hard and fast rule, that you cannot repeat albums. Where are you going to place this? Because if you can't repeat them, this gets very difficult. Because how am I supposed to put this in debut?
I think it has to stay with Showgirl.
I guess it has to, yeah. Next up, we have cancelled. Easiest one, right?
Reputation.
There you go. Easy.
Come on. Yeah, I did something bad.
Come on.
Look what you made me do. It is the reputation that everyone thinks Reputation is.
It is.
And that's why
it is. Yeah.
That's why it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Slap it on that vault. It could have been a vault track.
That's it. Easy. Exactly. And if it had been a vault track, the reception to it would have been different.
They would have
That's my take. Yep, yes. That is my take.
Yes.
Okay, moving swiftly along because there's not much more to say. Honey. Yep. So what albums do you have left?
So
Debut?
I have Debut and Fearless.
Debut and Fearless.
Yes.
So what did you put Honey in? Fearless?
On Fearless, right. I think because, like you said, like it's a bit lovey, it's a bit jump them fall, like when anyone called me sweetheart, like summertime spritz, pink skies, you call me honey, you know what I mean? It's a bit kind of jump them fall.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something else that even a bit like love story, knelt to the ground, pulled out a ring, marry me Juliet. You know what I mean? Like kind of.
Again, we have to like avoid some of the wording and avoid some of the things.
Yes.
It's a bit too grown up.
Yeah.
But Wishlist is as well, to be honest, and that's why I put on Fearless.
Yeah,
and funnily enough, where you put Wishlist on Lover and I put it on Fearless, you've put Honey on Fearless and I put it on Lover.
You've put it on Lover.
Yeah. Because it has that same vibe.
Again, similar reasons, isn't it? You could swap them around.
There you go. Very romantic, very lovey-dovey, very like, I don't know, the sound, the production, the lyrics. It's just very Lover to me. It really is. So I get that. Swap it around. Which leads us to, last but not least, The Life of a Showgirl, which obviously from what we have left, I mean, me too. I also had The Life of a Showgirl or Debut here. Like... And I guess we're putting it on Debut if we're putting Wood on A Life of a Showgirl, right?
Oh, so what you think? So I chose that. That I just instantly put it there.
For me, it's been like because it's left over, but for you, it was like
that was left over. Okay,
it
was an active choice. Yes.
Okay, tell me.
I thought that I think that it's not like the perfect. Because the start of the song is very much like place in this world, like a little bit kind of looking up and idolizing.
Yeah, true. I get that.
But then
Kid in the Crowd
it ends a little. Yes, exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, very much like Kid in the Crowd. Like there's an adultness to it that's like
definitely.
Last Great American Dynasty, Lucky One that she wouldn't have that kind of perspective in
Debut.
No. But weirdly, even though Big Star. Because I know we
go back to Big Star. Everything leads to Big Star.
Yeah, even though Big Star is obviously like when she sang it, and that recording is obviously 1989. Obviously it was kind of on her playlist, wasn't it? Back like during the debut era.
Oh yes. And in the Lover Diary, she's writing about it, and she was a fan back then.
Exactly.
So I get
so
that.
It's very, that song just feels so debut to me, and like and I can imagine that era of Taylor really relating to that, and so I see those two aligned, Life for Showgirl and Big Star. So that's why I shoved it there, just because it has an element of the place in this world. It has an element of kind of like Kid in the Crowd, but then it wouldn't fully fit because there's so much
perspective.
Exactly, there's a perspective that 16-year-old Taylor just didn't have.
No.
So I think it's a good enough choice.
I can see what you mean.
She's seen the Tim McGraws of the world and the Faith Hills and the Shania Twains, and all the maybe crap that they've put up with in their careers, but is choosing to kind of do it anyway, and maybe was told, oh, are you sure you're very young? Do you want to do this? You know what I mean? But she did it anyway. So there's an element of that. It's a bit of a toss up.
Perhaps like the first verse, I'm down with, but after that, I'm like,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. It gets a bit rough.
But I can get behind that. Yeah.
But is there if if all the albums were open,
yeah.
like say if you had no tracks on any,
Yeah.
no tracks on the previous, is there actually one that you would have put it on?
Probably Folklore, something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, but it would need some serious.
Oh gosh, yeah, we can't be
and
singing
get
that.
Sabrina Carpenter off. Love her.
Yeah,
I think Sabrina kills the song. She's absolutely incredible. But I don't think Sabrina would be on Folklore.
Yeah, we need some toned down. Maybe I don't know, one of the indie girlies or something.
Yeah, get Phoebe Bridgers.
Exactly. Yeah, sing it with pain.
Yeah.
Oh, with peace and love. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe because of how it's like written, and again the perspective of like this character and how she's living through things. Obviously in that case the sound of it would have to be changed. If not, maybe 1989, maybe, but I don't think she's there.
I think even then she didn't. Yeah, I was gonna say, because even like the Lucky One on Red, there's still an element where she's even when you kind of listen to that, I don't know, there's still not enough like experience there, is there? Like
no.
That there's still attentiveness of like, oh,
that's why it's so
and now I realise
difficult.
how lucky you were, and I'm still in it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's why it's so difficult,
she
because
wasn't removed enough.
This song is very much it for me. It's my favorite song to represent this album as a whole. That's why it's the title track, and it works because it does. It represents the feeling, the moment that she's in right now, and only through all of her years of experience could she get to this kind of song. That's why I would like it in an ideal world to represent this album, but that would leave me with Wood for debut, and I can't. I just can't. I don't know. God. You guys figure it out. But what about you? Did you have something else in mind for The Life of a Showgirl?
No, I chose debut.
Oh, yeah, you did, right? So you were happy with that? Cool.
Because I had set in my head Folklore, and I knew, and Life of a Showgirl just is not Evermore in any shape, size.
No.
And then again, Red, I'd already put Ruin the Friendship, so I couldn't even link it to Lucky One there. And again, I don't think it would work there anyway. And then there's not really anything else for it, so I thought let's kind of pull.
Well, that's good.
Like you
that's
said,
good.
that first
I get
verse, Kid in the Crowd element of it.
It's nice in a way to see that like we've come like full circle to a certain extent, but like with so much more growth and so much more perspective. Obviously that's what you wish for in life in general, and in music in specific. So that's really interesting. But no, I mean, I'm not happy with everything, and I think some of them we've kind of like ham-fistedly shoved into their different albums, but it was still fun to see, and I think I'm pleased that we agree on a lot of them.
If we had done our previous where we just put them on other albums, I think that it would be very different.
Oh yes, yeah.
But I think it would be a little bit repetitive. I think
definitely
it would be,
that was a bit boring.
A lot on things like Reputation,
1989, Lover,
1989, Midnights, and Rep.
Yeah.
Oh, I've said Reputation, yeah, and Lover, Lover.
Yeah,
sorry.
Again, the pop heavy albums.
We basically putting them on the pop.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which is a bit boring.
Yeah, I still would have stuck Ruin the Friendship, I think, on Red, and I probably might have still stuck Actually Romantic on Speak Now.
There's just something about it that fits, isn't there? Like, I again, I was like, yeah, Speak Now. And in my head, I was like, don't know if she'd say that for sure. But the vibe, it's just the general vibe of it all, right? Like, I get it.
Because I think what's really interesting when we do these things is it shows how interlinked all of Taylor's albums are, and how much there's so much self-reference, which is so interesting, and how there's certain narratives that are explored and then re-explored with more growth. But I think what's also really interesting is you realise how different her albums actually are.
Right, yeah, definitely. And not just genre-wise, because obviously it's easy for us to say, oh yeah, we've split it through these albums because they are the pop albums, but like thematically, and how she felt about certain things, which as all humans do, like we grow up and we change our opinions on things, and you can see that through her music, and it's so interesting. Like if you explore like specific themes and how they develop in her music, you can really pinpoint like different songs and be like, no, that feels like a 1989 song because this is how she felt about Fame at that moment. And that's about it as for classifying the Life of a Showgirl songs. And it's exciting that now we can play around with them and we're getting more used to them. However, we haven't finished the episode just quite yet, because before we go, couple of things. Housekeeping is in order. Firstly, we did announce this on YouTube and on Instagram, but just wanted to repeat that at the moment we are both very, very busy and swamped with things. So we're going to cut down, and we would like to obviously have at least one episode a month for the time being. And whenever we can do more, we will announce that through like YouTube, Instagram, and all of our usual ways. So that means that we may not chat again until the Eras Tour documentary is about to come out or is coming out. So I think it's apt that quickly we just discuss here what we think, you know, what are our expectations? How do we feel about it? How are we feeling going into this new documentary, which at the moment we're in a very like liminal space in Swiftie fandom because there's not much going on, but we know that there's something around the corner, which is very exciting. So I am extremely, extremely excited. I can't wait to watch, and I love that it's like separated into a few different weeks, so it carries that excitement through towards the Christmas period. Very excited to see TTPD finally performed live. Yes. But as for expectations and things that you would love to see, Cameron, is there anything in particular that you were like, oh, I really want to see this? Because it seems like it's covering a very large period of time, which is very exciting.
I haven't even thought about that. I haven't even thought about stuff I want to see. I think what I'm really intrigued about and I'd really love to see is how she went about thinking about the set list, because you know those weird post-it notes.
Yes, I need
What are those?
this.
Because they're different colours. Some of it's on the set list. Some of it isn't.
Right.
I'm like,
is it like how she did the surprise songs? Is it how she was coming up with the set list?
There's like the Archer and stuff on there, which is like was part of the set list. So I'm very confused. So that I want to know. Also, hopefully we get recording of TTPD and Showgirl.
Yes, I want it all. I want it all. Give us.
I would love that. Anything behind the scenes with Taylor, I don't matter what you show me. Like, you know, it's like you could just show me her just rehearsing and I would find that fascinating. You could just show me her recording TTPD and it would be absolutely fascinating. You could just show me after the show and you could find it fascinating. And it looks like we're going to be getting all of that anyway. So that is already just exciting. So I'm just so excited to get.
There's so much to like cover though. That's what is like so like intriguing to me, because I mean, hopefully we can go in a chronological order, which would be very like, oh my God, chilling to see how it started and how it ends, right? But
hopefully,
I don't know.
I feel like that makes sense.
Like, I want to see it all. I want to see the planning. I want to see how she came up with how she was going to do it all. I want to see how it started off in America. I want to see how it changes.
Then the strain of doing it.
That's it. Yeah, how it changes because TTPD is created.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. How she was like, guys, we got a whole new set.
By the way, and then throughout Europe, and then the Life of Showgirl incorporated into there, and then finally, like, you know, coming to the end
finishing
of it.
Out.
I don't know. I want to see it all,
and the major success and the
celebration.
And
we've got the film also somewhere between all of this. There's re-recordings to be discussed. I'm sure there's special guests
that are being announced on the tour. Yeah, special. Yes, because Ed Sheeran.
I know.
I was there.
I know.
I know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's exciting. It's
Travis on stage again. I was there.
Oh, always at the same time.
There's so much. There's just so much. I just feel like we're getting a level of kind of insight that we haven't had since like Lover era with Miss Americana. And I love these kind of really proper look behind the curtain, behind the scenes documentaries about artists, and especially when it's an artist I'm a fan of, I find them so interesting. And I think what's so interesting is often with these documentaries and stuff, they and I think we've said this a million times about Miss Americana specifically, and just general artist documentaries, they're often not given enough time. It's often like a 6 month, sometimes less.
Right, and it's such a small glimpse.
Yeah, it's such a glimpse that it's hard to kind of. It doesn't feel like a true end to the story. Like, it doesn't feel like you've actually closed the chapter. Like, the Lover, Miss Americana literally ended on the day that Lover was released. So like, you never really got to see
Lover
what
release
then happened with the album and it's it going out into the world truly. And then the stuff that she then said, like, oh, this is the last time I grasped onto that success. It's so outdated. It sounds so ridiculous now.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So what's nice about the Eras tour is that whole chapter is closed and done, and there's such a resolution with gaining the masters and stuff at the end and things, and then recording Showgirl, that I feel like it will feel it will feel fulfilling when you finish it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
because
it's such a positive ending as well.
It's a true start to finish.
Exactly,
yeah,
and
exactly.
it follows, obviously it follows the Eras tour, but it allows her to kind of go over so many different themes and so many different topics and so many different moments in her, you know, in her career. So that makes it fun. But yeah, mostly I'm...
What about you? I was going to say, is there anything you want?
I love when Taylor speaks about, like, her songs the way that we speak about her songs. Like, when she kind of, like, goes into full analysis mode and is like, I feel like this one was made in a way... Because obviously she knows much more than any of us do. She is the creator, after all. So she knows how she felt and how she feels. But I don't know, I love when she speaks about older songs as well. So again, I'm very intrigued by that wall of post-it notes, and I would love to see her kind of, like, going through it to, like, figure out a set list. And, like, I love to see how she perceives her own music. Because obviously we see it in the moment when she's, like, describing her own music or telling us tidbits about how it was made. But I want to see how she perceives it, you know? Like, how she sees it sometimes years after the fact, because most of those albums, you know, there was a lot of space between their releases and then being performed on the Eras tour. Insight into the surprise songs and how they were chosen. Insight into how the costumes were chosen, because I want to know why. Why that 1989 set? Why would you do that? Why would you wear every single set except for 2? It's so annoying. Yeah, I know we're not going to get that specific answer, but it's just it will bug me forever and a day.
It's a bit like, I want to know, why did Long Live not make it to Europe?
Robbed. We were robbed.
Because you forget, but you never let it go. And I ain't ever letting it
go. No, we were so close. We got TTPD, but at what price? What was the cost?
And why did you play my all-time favourite Want to Hear?
The day before.
Most Excited To song. Yeah, the day before I Then See You.
Oh, I don't think she's going to address
Why did you play Crazier,
Cameron, but...
No. Because that, I took real offence.
I know,
you know what I mean?
That was so...
quite personal.
Oh, that was so close
That was
for you.
actually quite personal.
Because
I will never forget that feeling.
I know. I remember when that time, you know, I was guessing on, you know, the Swift, whatever the app was called, Swift Alert or whatever, and I was making my guesses and I was thinking, I am not going to guess any of Cameron's favourite.
No.
And then there she goes and she sings like bloody 3 of them mashed up. And I was like, no, not this.
I know. I will never forgive. But no, that's only joking. But no, there's so much that I want to know, and just like, and even just stuff I find stuff really fascinating about when artists come off stage. How do you decompress from like feeling like invincible and having, you know, 100,000 people scream at you and like, you know, and sing? Like, how do you then go back to a hotel room and decompress and then go and sign 1,000 CDs and then, you know what I mean, and just all that kind of stuff. I'm just really intrigued about. I just am so excited. Yeah, and see that look behind the curtain that, like I said, we just haven't got in so long. It is truly very exciting. And it's also a cool time of year to have it, like around the kind of Christmassy period.
Yes,
and
it's
around
her
Christmas.
birthday
It feels a bit like an advent
period
calendar,
as well.
Yes.
So it's all very exciting, all very, you know,
It's like a little advent calendar.
It is, in a way.
Christmas.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
I can't wait. I hope that it reveals all of these little details. And even from the trailer, we've already got like little tidbits and little interesting images. So honestly, I think we're in for a fun time. So I'm very excited. Again, we will, if you want to keep in the loop as to when we will be posting, please follow us on Instagram. Also here on YouTube, you can subscribe. While you're at it, if you would like to rate us on Spotify or Apple Music, we would be very, very, very grateful. However, not too sure when we will be back. Perhaps it will be just before the Eras documentary begins. We might be able to fit one in after the first couple of episodes. We will see. But hopefully, you know, we will all be very excited in that period of time. It will be close to Christmas, and there's a lot to celebrate this year with all of the Eras, the last resurgence of the Eras tour, which is very like, I don't know, I was kind of over it, but now I'm like back into it. So
oh no, yeah, I'm back into it, but it'll be sad though.
Let it go.
This is it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like, oh no,
unless we get that vinyl CD set.
Yes, yes, surely.
I've seen so many amazing concepts. So many.
Yeah, me too. I've seen, what is exciting though is Christmas. Christmas is always a fun time to be Swiftie because there's a lot of Christmas decorations and hopefully, and in previous years they've been kind of bringing back
Christmas Tree Farm.
You know. Yep. Christmas Tree Farm.
Give us the Opalite remix, the Christmas remix.
Yes,
because I know so many people relate Opalite to Christmas. I feel like that could be the next single.
It's because of. Do you know why? Because when I first heard it, you know that Mary's Boy Child, Boy Child, Jesus Christ, that song. When it's like, oh my Lord, he sent our son to save us.
Oh,
that,
it's true. Oh my Lord.
That you won't be able to unhear it.
Someone remix that.
Yes. When the first time I heard it, I was like, this sounds like that Christmas song. And I was
wow, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah. It's the Oh my Lord bit.
Oh, I can't wait to listen to Christmas music.
Yeah. Oh, I've already started. I started 3 weeks ago.
So early.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm in. I just love Christmas. If it's a good song, it doesn't matter if it's a Christmas song. Like Sabrina Carpenter, Fruitcake, that's just a solid album. It doesn't need to be a Christmas album. So I've been listening for weeks. So now that it's socially acceptable, I'm more excited.
Amazing. Anyway, that's that for now from us, but thank you again so much for listening. Like I said, please, you can subscribe over here on YouTube. Like this episode if you did enjoy it. Let us know your choices for the different albums. Let us know what you're expecting, what you're excited for from the Eras Tour documentary. And are you doing anything to celebrate? Are you going to gather with friends or family, have a little like party moment where you celebrate the Eras Tour for one last time? But yeah, let us know. It's very exciting. And until next time, we'll see you very soon.